The company has how many patents?
Just this one.
Just one. And how much of the process does it cover?
It covers the process and device for the electric.
And it's a Brazilian patent?
We will have to work on the international one because we're...
That's okay, but your financial numbers were all Brazil-based numbers,
More Brazil-based,
right?
Yeah.
Is that process really long in Brazil? Because you said you applied in '04 and it'll be granted potentially at the 11. It seems like a really long.
They have short staff right now. With band
So, with all the scenarios, I got a little lost. How much money are you trying to raise to get this business going?
That's the beauty of this thing. The actual first initial investment, we predicted like $300,000, but that's to build how many plants there? Six plants. But actually, we just need...
Where a plant is one of these mobile devices that you would somehow get and bring back.
Exactly. We will build 6 plants with this $300,000. But we can actually build the first one, and the rest of the investment will be on demand, because you must agree with me that we should have one to put it in a sewage treatment plant, for example. And once the other ones see it, they will close the deal with us, and we will only have the cost of beauty and everything. Once the contract is already made, we're not going to build 6 just to have it, just to spend the money, okay? Because we just need one as a window to show it, and then the other ones are on demand.
Can you get your customers to pay you in advance to build the plant?
Well, that's what usually happens with the contracts of wastewater treatment plants. Nobody's going to buy a ready wastewater treatment plant. They have to ask for the project, okay? Because it's something that it varies a lot. To make the project, you need to know the flow, you need to know the quality of the effluent, and this is commonplace for the wastewater treatment in general. Okay, this is commonplace. You cannot. You need to know what you're talking about. You need to know the flow if you're going to install, of course.
Given the situation as you described it in Brazil, it sounds like the government should be extremely interested in this kind of technology. Have you had any discussions with them about providing the $300,000 to get you started? It'd be a lot less expensive than getting it from somebody like us.
Yeah, well, we had a deal, we had a demonstration, that picture from the sewage sludge, with the government agency, the sanitation company that is somehow connected to the government, because they would be
It's a government company.
It's a government
called
company.
Sabesp. It's the 4th big company in sanitation in the world.
Yeah. And they've never heard about electrograduation.
Well, neither have I.
But they work with it every day. They were graduated for that. You know, it's completely different. They were supposed to be aware of all of the technology possibilities, and they are not.
Yeah. Well, what was the response when you? So did you do like a very small scale demonstration for them?
Yeah, we did a small demonstration, and now we are negotiating a contract for because now they have emergency contracts. They have lagoons of stabilization that were supposed to be cleaned each 5 years, but they haven't been cleaned for 20. And now they don't have anything else to do. They have to clean it. Otherwise, it's not going to work anymore. It's not working anymore. And CETESB, the environmental agency, is already, how do you say?
Multa.
They're fining them.
Yeah, they're finding them.
Charging a bill.
Charging a bill because of that. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, and so they have these emergency contracts where they will pay even more than the $200 that I said per ton of sludge, because they have to remove and give it a proper final disposal. So that's what we are trying to close a deal now. To clean the stabilization lagoon and contract emergency contracts. But we're waiting for the response. We have a meeting next Tuesday over there. We go back to Brazil Friday, and we already have a meeting on Tuesday.
So it seems like the biggest kind of opportunities for scalable sales would be to the sewage treatment plants themselves, right? They're going to take the biggest volumes. They're going to pay for the. They're going to pay upfront for the product. But for industrials, it sounds like it's a service model where you're going, you're installing the unit, and then you're going and you're removing the dry sludge. And why a service model to the industrials? Why not just sell the industrial the unit? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a big ticket item.
Oh, because we want to protect the technology. It's actually very easy to copy, not
Okay.
difficult at all.
Yeah.
Even if we have the patent, in Brazil, all the law stuff takes a long time, and it's very complicated, so we were thinking about the service as a way to protect the technology. So the power source would be sealed. It's one of the secrets, so if somebody gets an opening and see the electrode and see the water source, the power source, they will
Yeah.
not
So that's
take
an
long.
issue that you would have
That's
in the
why.
US. I mean, it seems like it might make sense to try to get a patent fast in the licensing technology to somebody that is a big provider to sewage treatment plants, something like that. I mean, because it sounds like that it's reverse engineered.
You
easily.
mean accelerate the
Well, it's
patent
just
process?
that, yeah, I mean, all somebody needs to do is, if it's not a guy, you don't have a patent here, you get the unit and you basically reverse engineer it. I mean, it seems like that's one of the risks in the business model, is that there is this kind of technology risk. You don't really have defensible intellectual property because you don't have a patent there and you haven't filed here.
Well, here, if we were supposed to come here, of course, the first thing we would do would ask for the patent,
Yeah.
to make the request for the patent. But as we are still on there,
Yeah.
What are the 3 most important things you don't have or don't know yet about making this a business?
about making this a
About
business.
making this a business. What do you need to know that you don't already know, or what do you need to have that you don't already have, besides $300,000?
Besides the 300,000?
The first movable one.
Yeah.
The first movable one.
Well, but with the $300,000, we would be able to build that. So we need the first prototype. We need the first scale prototype with at least one. This one that we have is very little, it's for 20 liters, so we need one with at least 1 cubic meter per hour to treat continuously, so that we can measure all of the variants. I think this is the first. The second one would be, I don't know. What else
Do you anticipate any difficulties in the scale-up? I mean, do you think that the process would be just any differences between the 20-liter model
Our
and the pilot
concerns,
plant size?
yeah, our biggest concerns are about the matter consumption and the energy. But we have literature from conventional electrocoagulation, so that's where we're based. We know how much we spend, and we know that the conventional one spends much more than ours does. So, and even if you wanted to increase a lot the matter consumption and the electricity consumption, we would still have a good range to charge for the service, because.
So in terms of
It's
the
very, very
electrodes,
cheap.
electrodes being consumed, does it add an additional problem with kind of metals in the effluent, or is it all the metal
Not really.
going to the
really.
sludge that you're removing, and it's already
Yeah.
contaminated?
I understand
Sludge
that.
anyway?
No. The most common polymer that is used in Brazil is aluminum sulfate to coagulate the water. But what's actually coagulating is the aluminum. That's why our, for example,
Aluminum
our
hydroxide.
is made of, yeah, it's made of aluminum. So in the sludge of the conventional water treatment, you have sulfur. That is something very bad, because once you have anaerobic environment there, you're going to create sulfur hydroxide, H2S.
Hydrogen sulfide is what we call it,
Yeah,
which
sorry.
is rotten eggs. right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So we don't have that problem, because we just need the aluminum. And the aluminum hydroxide is created with the electrolysis. So we have the same that they have, but without the sulfur, for example. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that
Thank
movie
you.
we showed, just to show that while we were talking, we were treating effluent.
Yes.